All right, kids, gather around, gather around. Uncle Dave is going to tell you a story from his book called The Effective Client. Now, this particular story comes from section 2 of the book, which talks about paying fairly and punctually. And this particular story is about how professionals in the design and construction industry are motivated by more than just the monetary reward associated with their work. So we need to treat them as such. So it doesn't pay to be cheap with our vendors, because as soon as we're cheap with them, we can sap their motivation really quickly. But if we pay them well enough that we take concerns of money off the table, it's pretty amazing how far they'll go for us. So here's an example, a little story. One consultant I spoke with was working on a large river project with a recreational element to it. They were building a standing wave feature on the river for people to actually river surf. This was in Colorado, so it was a unique and interesting project. To this consultant's knowledge, a standing wave like this had never been constructed with such a low base flow. In this case, only 200 cubic feet per second. So he felt that a physical model was needed to calibrate the wave to make it function as intended. The problem was there wasn't enough budget to pay for building a physical model. Physical models are very labor intensive to build to scale. The consultant was so invested in making the project great that he and his coworker, on their own time, built the physical model themselves in one of their garages free of charge. The ownership team had the budget to pay for testing the physical model in a hydraulics lab, but this wouldn't have been possible if the consultant and his coworker had not sacrificed for the sake of the project by building the model for free, spending easily 50 hours each. Now, this was a case where we just didn't simply have the budget to spend on making a model, but these guys were so into this project, they just went ahead and did it on their own time. And the only point I try to bring up with that story is that it doesn't pay to be cheap with our vendors, and don't assume that money is going to be a good incentive or even penalty for people. All it's going to do is distract them from working on this really cool project that they were probably excited to work on at the beginning. So it doesn't pay to be really cheap. It also doesn't pay to try to have people chase some sort of financial incentives or bonuses, because then that'll just make them distracted by the money reward than just the cool project we all want to work on. So if you enjoyed that story and want to learn more, my book is available on Amazon, Kindle, Audible, pretty much anywhere you shop for books. Thanks.